Hey there, Twisted Sage here. Coming to you from 11-degree Sun in Scorpio. Moon is currently in Gemini. I think 9 degrees. I'm laughing at my hair. A little bit of paint in there. All right, big things. Well, this alignment gives us the ability to communicate our deep emotions. But then emotionally, we may be all over the place as well. One of the bigger things tomorrow, at least here in eastern Arizona, Mercury will come direct around just before 11 o'clock a.m. So tensions should start to lighten up, or projects should clear up. Things will start to flow more easily. On the election note, in my opinion, I don't think Donald Trump's going to have any problem winning the election, especially being that the moon's in Gemini. So it'll be moving towards conjunction with his sun. So in a certain sense, that's going to give him kind of a new moon quality, on top of the fact that he's a north node in Gemini. And the north node's currently conjunct his natal north node. So I believe the energy is in harmony with him versus Biden. So all the Gemini for Scorpio creates a what we call a quincunx, which is most associated with always having to make adjustments. On top of, since Trump is a Leo rising, it just puts Gemini predominantly in his 10th house. I mean, along with Taurus, but it cusps. I was just looking at his chart, so now it's most of his Gemini, instead of being in the 11th, it's in the 10th. His sun is there. I believe both his north nodes there. So yes, again, the moon is creating a seed of new intention for him. I'm just basing it on that. The moon is in more positive relations for him, especially with that north node, than Biden. Yeah. Just a recap. So now that Mercury is going to be moving direct, and now it's going to go and pass through everything that we've just been going through in the last 2 weeks to 3 weeks. Perhaps fixing some of these issues. I feel like I can't count the number of vehicle issues, definitely in my world, but other people as well. So yeah, I got my heater core in, with many headaches. When I was putting my dashboard back in, with the ratchet, I tapped my windshield, put a crack in it. Come to find out, I had it pretty much together, but there was this one wire hanging that I didn't know what it went to. it seemed like it had something it was supposed to plug into. I thought it was my headlights because they weren't coming on. Turns out it was just a clip that you hook to. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I was there. I just didn't. I didn't realize how close I was, so I put it on the back burner due to lack of patience with it. Um, and then my van, the Vortex Voyager here, I spoke on it. Well, my battery went out. Get a new battery, and then I still have issues with it. Alternator works fine, but for some reason, something's draining the battery. And I don't have a clue what. So like, there's that. With my truck, once I got the system all back together, the heater works great. Um, but then now there's a radiator leak in the son of a bitch. So the issues never seem to end. I guess let's talk synchronicity. Um, so I'll go with I made a post on my Facebook about this church I passed, and it was talking about the phrase that the I'm assuming some pastor put on their billboard that sits on the road, and well, the statement said, "Fall for Jesus, He never leaves us." And to me, that represented, well, the sun was in Libra, and that's its fall position, the sun's fall position. And I'm like, wow, it to me it spoke volumes that whoever wrote that was under the influence of the current astrology without knowing it. Went on to say some other things. Well, I don't know if it was a week or 2 weeks after I posted that, I'm driving into town, dropping my son off at school, going to work. And like right as I'm passing it, a fucking rock hits the windshield of the van and fucking hits it so hard that glass flies onto the dashboard, and a chunk of glass actually flew into my ear. And man, I was deep in thought like most of my life. and but it was on some real serious shit. I mean, sometimes I could be deep on shit I don't need to be deep on. But I was like, what the fuck? And my first thought was like, did someone just shoot at me like with a BB gun because they didn't like my post? Being that I was so close to the position at which I was, or where I took the picture and made the post. And I'm like, nah, there's nobody that's on my friends list that would have been that connected. I don't know. So it had to have been a rock, but it hit with such impact that, yeah, we can probably even see. I don't know if you can, I don't know what the camera's showing. Hopefully you can see glimmers of light. Yeah, those rocks were there. They had nothing to do with it. But on to other synchronicity. So I had to run back to town. I don't know if that was the same day. To get Halloween stuff for my son, and I thought the van was sound. The battery was good, and I die. And luckily, it wasn't in the middle of the road. I had a good place to stop. And I'm like, fuck, what do I do? What do I do? I'm like, who do I call? So I call up a buddy, and sure enough, he's only a few minutes away. And sure enough, the person that he's riding with, it was their birthday. Simple synchronicity, but the fact that I'm so in touch with the astrology and birthdays, I was like, well, that's interesting. And I don't know if it was the same day or day before, My mom's not too technologically in touch. And she seems to be losing her near vision. So she has to put on glasses now to read small text. But she couldn't pay her goddamn phone bill. And so I ended up paying for it, or paying with her card. And somehow the electronic robot didn't hear. He was 1 cent off of what I said. So it didn't go through. So I had to call T-Mobile Tech. And sure enough, the person I'm talking to has my fucking birthday. Like, you call that coincidence, but we call it synchronicity to coincide. Um, hmm. No, fuck. Well, I guess that's it. I'll end it at 11:11. Oh, well, let's, I guess, end it with a positive statement. Remember that if you're not paying attention to our stars, you are sailing the seas of life with no compass. Namaste. And let's see if I can find the stop button due to my cracked fucking screen. More Mercury retrograde shit.